We take our dragon, we deal 4 damage right to them. It's a 5/5 with haste. Hello, good game. Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're all having a magical day. Thank you so much for taking the time to support the channel. Make sure to like the video to help increase the engagement. More views equals better content and bigger giveaways. Speaking of giveaways, subscribe to the channel, and at 35,000 subs, you could win a complete D&D rare playset. Today, we'll be playing a brand new free-to-play Rakdos recursion deck with Red Dragon, and this bad boy is killing it. We even beat the upgraded version of the Rakdos dragons, which is really cool with Goldspan. So this deck is no joke, and you can definitely be using this as a free-to-play deck while you collect wild cards throughout the D&D seasons, right? So that's a lot of fun. The question I have today is this the new cycling deck? We're gonna have to wait and see as we get more feedback, but so far it seems like it honestly might be. We're gonna break down the deck list, talk about the strategies, the synergies, then we'll showcase all of that in the gameplay footage, discussing it as we go through it, breaking down the deck with our final thoughts and review after that. So again, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you're looking for more information, whether you want to support the channel through the Patreon, jump into the Discord, maybe even check out some of my cat jams. I've got my Spotify linked as well. That's all available within the Linktree link in the description below, where you can easily just give it a Google Hello Good Game Linktree, and I'm sure you'll find it. So with that being said, let's break down the deck and see what is cooking. Free to play, Kardur's Burn version 1 is a 60 card standard 2022, right? This is rotation proof, 2.5 average mana value deck with 20 creatures and 19 non-creatures. So a very nice blend. 21 land, which might be a little light for the 2.5 average mana value, but we do have 3 MDFC or module faced card lands within Kazuul's Fury and Kazuul's Cliff. The Cliff comes in tapped. The Fury can be used like a fling effect. If you're unfamiliar with that, you sack your own creature and then deal damage equal to that creature's power, which is pretty cool to any target. So the Fury is an integral part of the deck, but it is our last spell that we want to cast. Focusing around Kardur's Vicious Return for 4 mana. When it enters play, you may sacrifice a creature. When you do, deal 3 damage to any target. This is very, very good, and we want to be putting all of our damage into our opponent's health points unless they have some form of engine in play or a creature that receives value turn after turn, right? It's not just like a 1/1 token or something. So that is very nice. Next up, each player discards a card. We will be discarding Red Dragon. We'll get to that in a second. And then finally, return target card from your graveyard to the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it gains haste until your next turn, which is absolutely delicious. So, now that we've talked about that, let's talk about the dragon. We will be discarding this from our hand 9 times out of 10 with the return. It's a 4/4 for 6 with flying, and when it enters the battlefield, it will deal 4 damage to any target. So if it enters with the return, it's a 5/5 with haste. It enters, deals 4 damage, then attacks for 5, a total of 9 damage, which is very, very good. And then, we come full circle to Kazuul's Fury, because as this enters play on the 3rd trigger of the return, you still have all of your mana available for that turn, which is pretty crazy, right? So very, very good. You'll probably get that first attack for 9 for sure, and then you might even get another one for 5, taking you to 14, and then you can fling it for an additional 5 at some point as well, which is very, very good. You also have chip damage in the deck through Shock, 2 damage to any target, and the Fireblade Charger. When it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. We can increase the power of the Fireblade Charger through the Reclusive Painter. It's a 1/2. When it enters play, make a treasure. Whenever a creature enters play that spent a treasure, to cast it, it enters with that many +1 counters on equal to the treasure spent, right? So the Charger can be a 2/2, and then it can deal 2 damage when it dies. Very, very nice. We can also use the Painter to ramp into the return. That's fine as well. We have the Shambling Ghast, a 1/1. When it dies, create a treasure, or a creature gets -1/-1. We have the Dispute, right? We can sack a creature or a treasure to draw 2 cards and create a treasure. Very, very good to help us find our dragon and our return so we can discard while allowing us to ramp into them. This is where it gets really fun, right? Pay attention. It goes from intriguing to wowzers. Grim Warden for 2, a 5/3 with flash. Tragic backstory, cast this spell only if a creature died this turn. So if you are playing against a control deck, you know they have counter magic available, you can uphold Grim Warden and just inch your way forward through their life points bit by bit by bit, because, you know, if they have a counter spell, you don't want to play your return, have them counter that, and now, oh no, we suck, right? So just hold up, right? You've got a Charger in play, you've got a Ghast in play, maybe you even at a certain point get a Reclusive Painter in play, holding up the mana for the Wanderer, waiting for their field wipe, because, you know, from 20 to 19 to 17 to 14 to 11, at a certain point they will hit you with a field wipe, at which point, boom, Wanderer's in play, here's 5 more damage coming right at you. That's amazing. And of course the Wanderer synergizes also well with Kazuul's Fury's Fling effect. So again, it can only enter play if a creature died this turn. You can shock your opponent's creatures, cast it on their turn. That's kind of fun, right? There's lots of availability with the Wanderer, and it fits quite nice in the deck. And you can also buff it up through the Painter if you're using treasures to cast it as well. Umbral Juke, also known as Umbrella Juke, right? Yeah! Instant speed for 3, choose 1. Target player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. This is amazing in the current meta. Immersturm is lots of the times a solo dolo creature. Goldspan Dragon is also lots of the time a solo creature on the field. An easy way to deal with that, or even the planeswalkers that you see. A control deck doesn't play many creatures, it's a planeswalker. So planeswalker, before it uses the ability to make a token, if they have it, boom, you just nuke the planeswalker. I really like the Umbrella Juke. You can also, at instant speed, create a 2/1 with flying, help you get some more chip damage in, right? So that's really, really good. That's the deck. We have the Skullcairn in the deck as well. For 4 mana, plus a tap, 5 total, we sacrifice it, dealing 3 damage to our opponent, which is really, really good at sorcery speed, right? So, you know, there is a ton of reach in the deck. The Immersturm land, the Shock, the Charger, Kazuul's Fury. All amazing reach on our opponents, not to mention the 3 damage through the return and the 4 damage when the red dragon enters play, right? So you can see how the deck all revolves around dealing damage to your opponent and, you know, artisan style, right? This is commons, these are uncommons. There's no Goldspan in the deck, there's no rares, there's no mythics whatsoever, while at the same time competing against all of those decks. That is truly a magical thing to have, and I'm really looking forward to the feedback on this deck, because I'm most positive you will all be very, very pleased. So enjoy. We're going to break down today's gameplay footage now. Of course, stick around to the end because we have some upgrade ideas for you guys. If you already have some of those cards, you can lace them in. Of course, don't change your current wildcard plan. Just use the free-to-play decks to keep the game fresh while building whatever specific deck you want. Maybe don't spend wildcards on the upgrade guide. Only use those cards if you already have them, right? But again, we're going to go into that more in depth at the end of the video. Enjoy. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel to your friends, families, and check out the Linktree link in the description below. You know, there's lots of cool stuff in there as well. Going first with a nice turn 1, turn 2. Still kind of looking for other puzzle pieces. We have completed it perfectly, though, in the deck testing portion, which actually you guys don't get to see on YouTube. That's a Twitch exclusive if you want to come over there and support. You know, it worked flawlessly. We beat a Rakdos Dragons deck that was using Goldspan, right? Like, this was the upgraded version, and we actually beat it, which is crazy. So I'm really excited about this deck. I think that it shows a lot of promise, and it's an amazing base to use while you look to upgrade the deck later on. We get the damage. The Paladin's class actually really sucks. But we can remove this immediately. Kind of sucks, but giving them life is not an option. So we really need to draw. So I'm going to put the Cliffs in tapped, which typically we like to cast it, but we don't have the dragon yet. So ending turn, and then oh, we should have done it there. Shoot. I keep forgetting about Paladin's class. That actually kind of screws our deck up. And they have life gain, which is, again, something we really don't want to see. This could be an impossible matchup for us. I mean, this works out okay. We kill the engine. Typically, we want to send all this damage into our opponent's choppers, but it is what it is. Another from the deck. Hit for 1. Discard the dragon. And this is actually coming together quite nicely. Ghast goes out. We probably should have kept the Cliff's return, but it's hard to say. We can make 2 treasures. Next turn we get a dragon. We can chump block here. Make 2 treasures. Draw 2 cards. Oh, both land. Great. You'll love to see it. We take our dragon. We deal 4 damage right to them. It's a 5/5 with haste. I'm going to sack a treasure to draw 2 cards and make a treasure. Just to see what we get. More of the same. Let's hit for 5. We'll have 2 land available. Nothing of importance. Let's end turn. We can still Deadly Dispute. Sack a treasure, draw 2. We don't care about the damage as long as there's no life gain. Number 12. We have 8 damage in hand. The hobo's going to target a treasure. We're going to sacrifice it. Draw 2, make another treasure. There's that missing damage, right? If they don't have life gain. So we need that in play as soon as possible. Take a really nice hit. We're so close. Right, because we have that 3 damage there. And another 3 damage here. We could play the return, take 3 damage now, or pulled up the juke. I think we hold up the juke. And then the return's a surprise, right? They're like, oh, we only need to gain 1 life to survive this turn or something, right? If they do have lifelink, instant speed, I can sack my own creature. If not, it just goes to the grave. Right? We just lose it. I'm okay with that. But if they did have instant speed life gain there, I definitely wanted to be able to sacrifice my own creature and interrupt that combat damage. Now that it's our turn, we can make a flyer. We have 7 damage here. What's the 3? Oh, and we get our fling. That is groovy. Right, so you can see just how effective this deck is. Right, we have lethal over and over again. So they're going to grab Reach and block us. Let's just take the fling. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's just a taste of the new free-to-play deck. Let's see what else we can get into. Going first, not a great hand, but it does get the job done. Maya's making a racket. Charger in play. Next turn, we can dispute, potentially, if we need to. Hit for 1. Let's leave that alone. I'm gonna send that damage up top then. Just hit for 2. Grab the land. Ghast in play. Hit for 1. Holding up our dispute. If they slay anything, we have the Ghast. Or the Grim, sorry. Make a treasure. Do they counter our draw? Or do they leave it go through? They leave it go through. Maybe they don't have a counter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, it's dragon time. Perfect. That is so beyond ideal for us. And that's why you attack before you play your creatures. Hit for 1. And now it's dragon time. Or should we go right into the Grim Wanderer? No. Let's do dragon time. Down to 11. They need to definitely remove this. We pick up a fling, which is amazing. And we have 5, so we can fling and Wanderer. I'll leave it. We'll just fling in response if they have removal. They need to remove it and have a counter spell. So that gives it -4. Let's sack the creature. Do they have a counter spell? And we can still play Grim Wanderer. Top deck a land, play the dragon. They do negate it. Very nice. We're going to play this on the end step, of course. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. We just beat up a Dimir control deck. One of the best decks in the meta. Kapow. Red Dragon. Not too shabby. This hand looks pretty cool. I mean, we're just looking for some land, I guess. Our opponent goes first, we get to draw. Then we get to draw again. And we only really need one land because we make a treasure on turn 2. So that should be fine. Let's see what top meta deck we're facing off against here. In tapped, sad. Charger and Shock are both nice. On the side. We have our main goal, though. You're looking at that land like, what in the heck? I've never seen this land before. So you know they're not a new player, right? If they're like, they've been around a little bit. Painter goes out, makes the treasure. Pass our turn. You know, we get to hit for 1 to try to pull out their mana next turn, or maybe they do something crazy here. An Evolving Wilds. Is that going to be a swamp, or like what's going on there? They only have 2 available mana. Our turn. Let's definitely hit for 1. They have a draw spell. Or no, it's the Wilds thing that's holding up. I see. So this comes in tapped. It's a white source. It's a counterspell, isn't it? Charger in play. I don't want to spend the treasure. It's just a 1/1. And that's definitely a counterspell, so I'm glad we did not play Kardur's Return. So just basically playing everything but until they're tapped. If they choose to tap out at any point. I mean, a good control player never does, but we'll see. We'll play it out. I mean, the play line's in our hand. We just need to get through with it. And as a free-to-play artisan deck, typically you've got better luck to do this. I'm going to play that Ghast as well. Again, leaving the treasure there. I don't want to touch that. And now we hold up a Shock. We end our turn. If they remove a creature, we also have a Grim Wanderer. Which would be nice just to like smack down with, right? Like if they Doomscar here, we have a Grim Wanderer, which is really nice. And at a certain point, they will want a Doomscar because we're going to be dealing 3 damage a turn. So that's okay. They push over. Let's throw up the Shock. Two damage. There's 100% a counterspell there. No ifs, ands, or buts. One could be a counter, one could be a draw, but I would bet on both counters. So let's attack. Oh, that's not a draw. Do you see how quick that attack went through? It's 100% a counter. End our turn. We're just going to hold up these Grim Wanderers. Right? If we're going to get backed into a corner like this, that's fine. Find your Doomscar. Use your Doomscar. I'm going to hit you for 10 right after. Nice hit here again for 3, down to 11. It could be a draw as well in their hand somewhere because there's another hold up there. Right? Like, it's pretty slow. And so you can see how this deck can go both ways, right? We can be the aggressor with the dragon, Or we can play more defensively with the Wanderers. Just depending. I mean, I really want to get the return out, but to have it countered really sucks. I'd rather build mana into the dragon, have that countered, and then play the return. Down to 11, and we're dealing 4 damage, so this is definitely Doomscar territory for 3. That would leave them up a counterspell. And we would gain the treasures that we need to cast both, so they could only counter 1. A nice hit here again. And that's why we didn't spend the treasure, because we've not drawn a land. We're bricked on 3 land, honestly. Not good. Charger goes out. The dragon turtle. Oh my lord. Why you gonna do that to me? So it's not a shatter. They don't want to kill their own turtle. I am becoming more interested. They're down to 7. Oh, it's Allrun's Epiphany. Right? Well, you know, they have another copy of that, foretold. I thought they were counters the whole time. And we played smart like they were. Jeez Louise, they're both Allrun's Epiphany. I guess we should have went for it. I had no idea. I was trying to play conservative. And if they were counterspells, we would have won. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Do they have another? I will laugh like a hyena if they play 3 Allruns in a row. Meanwhile, I'm playing with an artisan deck. Right? Oh, man. But that's just to demonstrate for you guys. That's how you would want to play against a control deck, right? It's like, they have a counter spell. I'm not playing into it. I'm going to force their life down turn by turn by turn, wait for them to react to me, and then when they do, I'm going to apply more pressure through the Wanderers. And in this case, we just got, you know, laughed out of town. So, I don't see any way in which this situation works out well. The gas and the charger each take out 2 birds. Right? So the damage goes to the person. We kill the bird. Then we make a treasure. They're down to 6. We kind of cleared up all that Allrun's shenanigans. And we're at 15. I'm gonna play the painter. I honestly still think they have counter magic. They're just being smart about it. Turtle's fine. We're gonna sack 1 treasure. We still have 2, which is good. I mean, we have them so close, right? We're so close. Dragon does 4 when it enters. The return does 3. So, like, technically we're sitting on 4 damage right here. Auto pay there. Kind of threw me off for a second. It's like, I already paid for it manually. What do you mean auto pay? Come on, counterspell. There it is. We knew it existed. So, here's the question. Do we give them their turn? Or do we go in with this other Wanderer and top deck a land next turn? They would have to have another counter. They don't. 7-5 in play. The Dragon Turtles are quite nice if you can string them together, right? Because another Dragon Turtle could tap the Wanderer and they could hit for 6. So if you can string those turtles to play, they're pretty nice, but it is a brand new rare. You know, it doesn't belong in a bunch of decks. Oh, nice. This is... Oh, I can't believe they decided to attack with that with such little life. That's incredible. I mean, we only hit for 1. If we top deck a land... Oh, no. Do not make a dog. Draw cards. Draw cards. Please draw cards. And have those cards be useless. You know, rare, mythic. You know, all runs of mythic. You know what I mean? Like, look at what we're standing up to. It's no joke. So we attack for 1. Return in. We sack the Charger. We deal 1 more damage. And then Kardur does 3. We get hit for 9. I mean, I just think it's cool that we can go to such lengths with a free-to-play deck. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't get any closer than this. We top deck a Shock, we win. Potentially, if they don't have counters. Top deck a Shock. Top deck a Shock, HGG. And our opponent has no counter. Like, we could potentially have lethal over this great deck. They kept 1 back. We get the Painter. Shoot. And then they have lethal next turn. Dang. We get incredibly close. You know what I mean? Good game. 1 more turn. 1 more turn. We would have won. Sometimes you just can't beat all the mythics, though. You know what I mean? There's probably 2 Orange Epiphanies in their hand right there. We get our good game back so we can head out. And that was so close. So close. Nothing really great in hand, but it's a fairly good start, I feel like. Turn 1 Charger. Turn 2 Painter. I mean, that's a start. Cleric class is out. Oh, that is good. Now we just need our dragon, and all is well. Make that treasure. And turn. Ooh, we're gonna zap that on our turn, I think. And then we can play our Wanderer. Because we don't want that in play at all, ever. For 2. Force them into removal. Because we don't have our dragon anyways. And then it's a 6-4. That could be intimidating. Righteous Valkyrie's like, I'm gonna get in its way. I'll kill the Righteous Valkyrie if given the opportunity. We hit for 6, killing their life gain engine. Alright, we're doing the do. We get a Ghast out. Looking for a land, looking for a dragon. Professor is good. What do they pull? That gains them 2 life. That's good for them. Oh, they go with Professor again. They want the blockers. They need like some exile or something, right? Yeah, there it is. Let's go all in. Game they don't want it. And then we can make a 2/1 fire and apply more pressure, which is really cool. We have to toss this. It's not going to work. Mulligan. Keep 6. Toss the shock, I believe. And then play slow. Painter turn 2. Juke turn 3. We can Painter on Painter, I guess, as well if we need. Let's see what we're playing against here. Abzan almost Snow? That's a basic plane, so I'm unsure. Innkeeper out. Makes the treasure. Let's take our turn. Blast the Innkeeper. Ghast out. We're gonna pay with the treasure just because we have another painter to make a treasure for 4, and we only need to really go to 4, ideally. Right, we've not found a dragon yet, we've not found a return yet. What we would really like is a draw. Our Deadly Dispute would be really good. One spell a turn? Yeah. Yeah. We do get our draw. Let's force the sack. And hit for 3. It's not great, but it does get us through to the next turn, right? Just surviving. And, yeah. We're okay, we have a draw. That's a good card. Blizzard Brawl incoming. Hunt for specimens, okay. The fight effects from the white are very good. This is a 3/2, and when it enters the battlefield, it does so tapped. It has life drain. Whenever a creature is dealt damage by white this turn dies, create a 2/2 zombie that's tapped as well, which is groovy for them. I'll attack. No blocks, which is great. Painter in on top of the first. We keep the new one. And then I honestly think make this treasure worthy. So we can block the white and kind of get that out of play, right? You know, they're at 13 still. Binding. Oh. They take the painter. Makes sense. Don't think there's any attacks here. I'm going to attack. Okay. They can block with the 1/1. Really? Okay. The damage goes to their person. grab a treasure. Oh, man. Ouch. Double land. Field Trip is gross. You know, that puts them to 7 for next turn. And they have 2 copies of it. So we're quickly just going to get beat down by, again, a couple of mythic cards as an artisan deck. It happens, right? But if you are ever in an artisan event, and you play this deck, holy, right? If you're not having to compete against, you know, those other mythics, what a good time. But I don't really foresee this being a good time. I'm going to be totally honest. We do have 3 damage through the land. We're 9 shy. And they gain 2 life here with Environmental Sciences as well. 11 shy. Finding on the Painter. Here's the 2 life with another land. Whoa. I have land too. I don't think there's too many land in the deck. It's just something that happens sometimes in your matches. You'll find that you pull a lot of them all at once. It's the land all at once event, known as flooding. You can also brick, which is the opposite effect, where you don't draw any land. This does nothing, unfortunately. You know, we're too far down that road at this point, I feel like, especially since they're just going to double down with... I like how I can pull it out of their hand. That's fun. You know, it's pretty gross. We can basically just pass our turn. Throw this in as a creature. Because I'm tough. And the shock is there too. So shock that thing. It is what it is. We have to kill the creatures. Block the 4/4 here. Nope, that's game. Short ourselves out. And, yeah, I mean, it's a free-to-play deck. It's not always going to work perfectly, but if you're just getting started with the game, absolutely amazing. Going first with bad land, but a nice start. I'm going to toss it. This does seem better, sadly enough. It's a little bit more awkward, but it probably has a better chance of going late game. We have the Ghast, the Dispute, the Dragon, right? This gets us ramped in. All we need to draw with the Dispute is the return, and everything is okay, right? Then this is a very good hand, but you know, we're going to have to wait and see how this unfolds. We're waiting on our opponent to decide whether or not they want to keep their hand or mulligan it. Tick-tock, tick-tock. I guess this is a great time for everybody to like the video. That will help my exposure within the video. It shows it to more people, and then that is really, really good because then they can engage with the channel as well. Let's toss shock for now. And it is a slow roll. I'm just wondering in which sequence we should play these. I'm going to do the Fury first in case we top deck the Painter. No. Ouch. So we're playing extra slow here. It's not enjoyable, but we need to just do what it is. And then on turn 3, we can Ghast and Dispute without being interrupted. They don't know what they're learning for yet, right? They're unsure, so they might just take the Environmental Sciences. I do like the green dragon. Cooler than the red. Probably. They have very little information about what we're doing so far. Ghast goes out. pass our turn. And we sack the Ghast while chump blocking here. We draw the return, right? We wouldn't have 3 damage to anything, though. That would be kind of unfortunate. Unless we get a 1-drop as well, and then we use the treasure for the 1-drop. So ideally, you know, either another Ghast is played. Toski entering. That's really good for them. So another Ghast or a Fireblade would be ideal for us. Alongside return. I'm actually going to kill Toski here. Right? That's the greatest option for us there. We have absolutely no play this turn. So I think we just play another damage land. That puts us at 4. We have enough for the dragon. We're going to keep the Fury to fling. Well, that is actually maybe relatively annoying. They don't have too many tokens, but they're going really wide. The treasure gets sacked so we can play it this turn. It's a good blocker. We get some damage in. As long as they don't have removal. Okay. And then no Toski for more draws. I don't want to see another Toski. Just land. Okay. And then go all in. Why not, right? Go crazy about it. So we have 3, 6, 10 damage. We attack with the dragon. Force a chump block. They don't chump block, great news. End our turn. We fling the dragon. And then we Grim Wanderer. And block one of their attackers. Which they have gone so wide. 4, 5, 6. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, we definitely kill them, right? Attack the dragon. And then the Wanderer comes out. We block a cent. Actually, we block the damage dealer, the Professor. Ooh, down to 10 though. This is risky. A field trip for a learn. That learn is very good for them. What do they take? Learn is a very good mechanic. They exile us. And they play the land. Nice. I don't think it matters if they do it here or there. You know, it's still a blocker. There's 3 damage through the land. Ooh, no attacks. If we defend, we're guaranteed a kill. It's a bit of damage. They're totally tapped, though. Oh, Scoop Swarm. Goody! Well, that thickens the plot though here. But I still think they have lethal. Let's attack. They let it go through. Oh no, we have lethal on the land and lethal through the dragon. They just realized. Yeah. I still think we would have gotten them though, right? That was a close match. Alrighty, so another free-to-play deck in the vault. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's talk about maybe some potential ways that we can upgrade this deck. We have a sideboard assembled. Spikefield Hazard is still an uncommon, but it does add to the deck, right? It is a land that can deal direct damage to our opponent for, you know, one. You know, can also deal with the Toskies. Actually, no, it cannot, sorry. But it can deal damage to your opponent. Sure. What really should be in the deck, more than Spikefield Hazard though, is Goldspan Dragon. You know, don't go out and buy 4 copies of it, but if you have a copy or 2, put it in the deck. It's a 4/4, flying haste, makes treasures, ruins everyone's lives. Orcus, you know, it doesn't have the ability to have the X cost paid from the grave, but it will save you against a lot of aggro decks, right? We have the treasure, you know, why not have the field wipe as well? Hive of the Eye Tyrant, you know, if you do get hit with a field wipe yourself, it's nice to have some control as well, and the menace is quite nice, and the control over the grave is good too. The same goes with the Bugbear, you know, making the goblins hitting for 4 damage here, which is really nice, and then the Pathway as well for land consistency. So, you know, you could put 2 of each of the lands in 4 of the pathways. You know, of course, however many gold spans you get in there, and maybe 1 or 2 Orcus. And of course, you know, take out things with caution, right? The deck does work very well already. But if you have 1 Goldspan Dragon, you find that, you know, you don't really need 3 copies of Kazuul's Fury. You don't necessarily need 3 copies of the Grim Wanderer. The choice is yours. You know, Umbral Juke is an example as well. You can potentially trim a few things to fit your favorite cards in there as well, right? So don't be afraid to test, right? You know, try the free-to-play deck, and then, you know, say you have Goldspan Dragons. Throw 2 of those in there. You know, maybe you lose a Juke, you lose a Wanderer, and how does it feel? How's the difference? Did you like it? You can always go back. You can always change it again, right? So get comfortable with editing your own decks, making the tweaks, seeing how they work, right? Again, if you have any questions, don't be afraid. Leave them in the comments below, right? You know, myself and the community will do our best to get back to you and get you on the right track. Thank you all for your time and attention. As always, I really appreciate it. Support the channel. You know, if you haven't done so, like the video. That is a must. You must also subscribe to the channel and tell all of your friends about it. At 35,000 subs, you can win a rare playset. I'm sure you already know. And definitely check out the Linktree link to support the channel as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you soon in the next, and I can't wait.